Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is Reid. I am your coach, and this is Success Life Live. We gather here every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. And why do we do that? Because I know that when we start off our day in the right mindset, with the right thinking, with the right action plans, we can build the life of success that we seek. Now, understand when we talk about success life, we're not talking about the one and done achievement thing. We're not talking about getting to the gold star, the big win, the finish line. We're talking about living more consistently every single day into the life that we desire in all aspects, whether it's our faith or our family, our finance, our fitness, or our business. So success life is really more about alignment with your purpose, alignment with your passion, alignment with your habits and strengths. And not about getting to some finish line that you can stand back and say, I'm done, I'm finished, take me out of the game. No. So welcome to Success Life Live. Again, my name is Reid. Take a moment, say good morning to each other. Good morning, Grandpa Luke. Good morning, Melanie. Good morning, Sonia. Saw a couple other people stop on in, not sure who else. But take a moment, say hello. Remember tonight at 7 p.m. we have author talk. I have to use my author talk. Maybe I'll get a big leather chair and fireside chat, masterpiece theater kind of author talk. But the book is going to be Your Life Matters, How to Get Out of the Life You Don't Want, and How to Get Out of the Life You Don't Want and Live the Life You Do Want. Sorry, it's kind of a tongue twister for me for some reason, but Larry will be here for that tonight at 7 p.m. here on Success Life Channel or Facebook Live or whatever. So good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Helen. Good morning. I saw somebody else pop in. There's Miss Gail. I thought I saw her jump in. So I have just been loving on the Uber thing. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I just got a message. Matthew, if you're stepping in, just read Steph's text later on. If you're hitting this in the live or the replay, just read Stephanie's text messages. Anyhow, so yeah, I have been loving the Uber thing. Just loving. You need to fix your camera so it shows the book. I'm going to use a different camera for that. Remember when you use Facebook Live, you're actually reversing the camera so the book gets reversed. I could hold it this way and then this way. Whatever. It's called Your Life Matters. So this Uber thing. Yesterday I wrote the blog on it, and today the second part of the blog is up. And remember, we talked about the Uber business model, or Ubering your business model, and how Uber got it so right. So right. They're a $60 to $100 billion company. It's kind of hard to figure out once you get over a certain number of billions. I know how that feels, the whole thing. But they ask two simple questions: where you're at and where do you want to go? And when I meet with coaching clients, those two questions really are the center of where we begin. Where you're at and where do you want to go? And then, are you willing to pay the price? And so we're going to finish up the Uber business model for your success, but I'm going to review the first three just so you got them down. Remember, number one, I saw Joe jump in, so take responsibility. You got to take the responsibility for your life. You can't be blaming other people, asking other people, telling other people, I could have my dream, I could have my job, I could have my success, I could have my health, I could have my fitness, I could have it all if it weren't for... No. It's your job, your responsibility, your dream. Nobody else is going to make it happen. Nobody else is going to cry on the sideline because you didn't get what you wanted out of life. It's the truth. I don't care how in love you are with the person you share the bed with. At the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. Your dream is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. Your achievements are your responsibility. Now, they may cheer you on, encourage you, and wish the best for you, but they ain't going to get it done for you. So it's your responsibility. Number two is that limited thinking. So yesterday I was doing some more research on Uber. And did you know that Uber hashtags exist? Like if you have clothes to donate and you do hashtag Uber donate, I think it is, they'll come by and they'll pick up clothes and they'll drive them to a clothing donation for free. And they also have one for rescue animals, that if there's an animal that needs to be rescued, they can help transport it through the Uber system on top of Uber Eats, Uber Delivers, Uber whatevers. There's actually a whole series of Ubers that are designed specifically to transport pets to pet care and pet daycare. So I love the idea that Uber said, look, wherever there's a need for a person to get from point A to point B, or an object or a thought or a need, we'll fill it. And that was limiting thinking. As a matter of fact, when Uber began, it was actually called Uber Cab Service, or it had the cab service piece attached. And they realized that they needed to get rid of that because they didn't want to be seen as just a cab service. So limitless thinking is number 2. And number 3 is honesty. Getting honest with yourself. Being honest with where you're at. Being honest with where you want to go. Being honest, dude. Like, come on. Let's get the honest thing right with ourselves. Matt, fresh cat hair. It looks good. Hey, thank you. By the way, Matt, we'll talk later, but Stephanie and I were laughing earlier today, so it's my fault. Just taking the blame. So step 4 on the Uber business model. And if you're like, okay, what is this again? Go back to the blog at ericgreid.com/blog. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Read up on it and read and follow it. But step 4, are you ready for it, Joe? Are you still in the house? You taking notes or somebody standing in for you? Number 4. No. All right, so I have to do a side note because it's going to be distracting. So Matthew does a Facebook Live every morning at 7:45. He's a very serious, very focused person. And this morning I could hear his fiance making coffee and doing her getting out of the door thing. And I could see that like 3/4 of his brain was over there. And she and I were laughing and teasing about it because I could just see he was like trying to like, when in fact the content that he was delivering was so spot on. So little lesson to all of you. Focus on what you're doing. Don't worry about what you think people are watching because nobody else knew what was going on. Nobody else cared. We were so engaged with what you were teaching, Matthew. So I was laughing hysterically because I could hear him like getting off the line and going, babe. And she said, yep. So anyhow, back to the topic. Step number 4, measure. You got to measure this stuff. You know, it's so funny. I'll hear somebody say, well, you know, I'll like, what do you want to accomplish? Well, I want to do this in my life. I'm like, okay. What are our milestones? What are our progress points? What are our return points? Well, I don't know. Or how did you do last year on that? Well, I don't know. I'm like, how are you running a business? And I'm not saying you have to be running a business, you know, producing necklaces, writing books, hiring or selling things. You gotta be, your business is your life. So how are you measuring the success in being in alignment with your goals? Do you sit down every day and say, you know what, my goal is to spend 20 more minutes with my kid or to invest. If the goal is I want to connect with my family, love that goal, honor that goal. So how are we going to measure it? Because you can't say, oh, I feel more connected. Because you know what? Those feelings, we know they lie. We know we can manipulate them. We know we can control them. How are you going to measure that? Oh, look, my day timer, it shows that we went on 2 date nights. It shows that I put my phone away for 20 minutes. It shows that we sat and gave each other foot rubs for 15 minutes. Whatever it is, I want to be able to measure it. I want to be able to see it. I want to be able to say, you know what? In the beginning, we had this rocky relationship. We had this out of alignment with our spouse, with our partners, with our kids, with our team. And we decided we were going to invest in our growth. And the beginning was we were going to do this. Now we've consistently done that and we're beginning to see a return on that investment of time, energy, money, focus. So what would happen if we doubled it? What would happen if we tripled it? What would happen if we grew it? Oh, we could expect this exponential return on our investment into it. But so often I'll have people say, oh, you know, I just didn't hit my goals. I'm like, so what were your goals? So what was the midpoint? What was the target? What was the pattern? What was the success? And they're like, well, I just don't feel like I was getting into it. I'm like, how do you know if you were getting into it if you don't measure it? You know, if you go to the gym, they got all kinds of dials and gadgets and widgets and whatever. You know, like people wearing Fitbits for how many steps they take. Well, first off, let's not measure the number of steps that we use to go around the buffet to get the desserts. But if you're not measuring it, you're not going to be able to quantitatively change it. And Uber measures the distance between where you are and where you want to go and what it's going to cost you. They don't calculate it. And you know, it's funny because there are back-end calculations based on the number of cars and the traffic and the patterns and things like that. But it's a simple math. If you want to go from here to here, this is what it's going to cost you. Okay, I got to measure things. Number 5 was, now I know everybody hates this word, but it's my favorite word. Get gooder. I know gooder's not a word. But what I mean is become an expert for the thing that you aim at. So you can't simply say, I want to be successful at coaching, speaking, writing, fitness, family, whatever, without investing in it, without upgrading in it, without making yourself just 1% better than the average. You know, I think it's interesting that when you look at like the NFL, it's the top 10% of players that are making 90% of the money. And exponentially, they're not that much better than the guy that's just outside of that 90% zone. They just showed up and worked a little bit harder, ran an extra lap, put in an extra practice, focused down a little bit more. But so often we hear people say, I want to be the best in my industry. And I'll be like, okay, how are you going to do that? Well, I just want to be it. Well, how are you going to do it? What is your plan for growth? What is your plan for expertise? What is your plan for being that 1% better than everybody else? Because very often it doesn't take a lot to get beyond average. I look at my kids' grades and sometimes I'm like, if you had just got one more question right, where would you have been? And the thing is, when you compare that to the Uber model, Uber has like 3 different degrees of the cars. Like if you upgrade the car that you drive as an Uber driver, you actually make more money. And if you drive the sedan, luxury, suburban, blah, 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 the Escalade thing, guess what? You make more money. You're still driving the same path between point A and point B, but you're getting paid more a mile because what? You upgraded the ride that people will be in. Commit to excellence. I've got some notes here. Commit to excellence. Turn drive time into learning time. Start looking at what your monthly commitment financially is to your personal growth. I'll ask people, they're like, well, by next year, I want to be this. I'm like, cool. How much are you investing in that? Well, I just want it. Well, what's your budget? Like, what is your budget for personal growth? What is your budget for physical transformation? What is your budget of time, money, resources? And it's like, well, if I get really good, then I get to go to this 3-day seminar in sunny California and stay at the Palm Desert. Okay. Great. Clearly you don't have the money for that right now. But you got money for a book? Maybe you should put $10, $15 in your budget every month to go out and buy a book and read a book. Or buy a podcast or download a free webinar. Just because you can't afford that 3-day, 5-day seminar sitting next to the, if you can't afford it, that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't afford to invest in your personal growth right now. And then number 6 I have is upgrade. I wrote down it as upgrade your passengers. But what I really mean is upgrade the people you're with. If you're hanging out with average, odds are you're going to stay average. If you're driving your Uber car down in a certain part of town where things aren't so good, your business isn't going to grow because people down in that part of town don't think like Uber people. You start moving your car up, and it's so funny when I get in the car, I'll ask the Uber drivers, like, what part of town do you work? Why do you work at that? And they're always like, I love the airport run because it takes me 10 minutes to go there and back. And normally I get really good tips. Or I love working this district of town because it's where all the really great restaurants and bars are, the high-end things. They know where their ideal client is that's going to not only use them, but tip them well. They hang out with above average prospects and opportunities to grow their business. When you're hanging out with people, are you hanging out with people that are going to force you to spend a little bit more on yourself, to study a little bit harder, that aren't going to take your casual, easy answer? Are they willing to really push you to the point? Are you hanging out with average people And my dad used to say, I love my stepdad. He always has these great expressions. Half the time I don't understand them because, hey, that's a relationship we have. But he used to ask, do you want to be the big fish in the little pond or the little fish in the big pond? Are you the big fish in the pond that you're currently swimming in? Are you seen as the expert? Are you seen as the go-to? Are you seen as like the king daddy? Because if you're in that spot, it's so easy to slide back, sit down, get relaxed, and not have to stretch yourself, push yourself, grow yourself. But if you're feeling like the little fish, you're in the right spot. Why do you think people show up on Shark Tank? Because they want to swim with the sharks, even if it means they might get eaten alive. They want to push themselves beyond what they currently have. They don't turn to their cousins, brothers, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, and say, hey, I got this really cool idea. I want to go global. No, they jump in the Shark Tank. They go in with the big mean fish because they know if they can survive with the big mean fish, they get to be the next big mean fish. So upgrade your passengers. Or, we always hear you're the average of the 5 or 6 people you hang out with. On mine, that includes the people that I hang out with when I'm reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a TV show. Figure out who you're with today. And better yet, here's a challenge. Go through your list yesterday and say, who did I hang out with? And then ask yourself, did they push me? Did they force me to grow? Did they challenge me? Did I feel like a big fish or a little fish when I was around them? And if you're feeling like a big fish with most of the people you're hanging out with, just saying, might be time to jump in the Shark Tank. Number 7 I have is review. Review your goals daily. Now, I mean literally review your goals daily. So, sorry, I had to reach across. This is not necessarily my goals, but this is my mission and vision statement. And I read it every morning and every night. And I read it really quickly and sometimes really slowly. But I keep it front and center. One of the things you can do, and it's a really cool little trick if you're trying to break or hack, what's it called? Life hack, sorry, is keep a notepad next to your bed, one of those sticky pads. I've got all kinds of gadgets down here below this table. So get a sticky pad. As you're getting ready to tuck yourself into bed or as you're laying there doing those last 5 minutes, settling in, write down 2 or 3 goals. Now you can write them all on the sticky pad or write them on different sticky pads. Now get up, get out of bed, just for a minute. It's not going to kill you, just for a minute. Go stick them on the bathroom mirror. So the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning and you're brushing your teeth, what are you staring at? Your goals. It will trigger you. It will remind you. It will focus you in that today is not going to be just any day, but today is going to be a goal achievement, goal driving, goal pushing kind of day. I don't care if you want to take an old lipstick, Sonia, and just write them in lipstick. But every night before you go to bed, and just try it for like 21 days. See what happens. Like, what's it going to cost you? I'll even pay for the sticky pad if you need me to. If you sit and focus on like, okay, I just need to come up with 3 goals for tomorrow. Now, you may have 100 things on your to-do list, but what are the 3 things that if I accomplish tomorrow, focus tomorrow, gain clarity on tomorrow, and begin to move in that direction, I will begin to feel more in alignment with my purpose and my passion. And you write them down, and then you walk into the bathroom, and you stick, yes, sticky note on the nightstand, and then put them on the bathroom mirror. Here's what's going to happen. As you drift asleep, that unconscious, silent conscious, working conscious mind of yours is going to be like, oh man, oh God. When we wake up in the morning, Eric's got this list of things we're supposed to start working on. We better start working on it now because he's sleeping so we can get some. Your mind will start to draw into you. You'll start to begin to see those goals being achieved. You'll begin to focus on those goals. And then in the morning when they hit you in the face as you're brushing your teeth, they're not going to feel overwhelming and startling and like, oh my God, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing this today. They're not going to feel like they're a brand new thing because you've been focused on them silently throughout the night. You've been solving the steps to achieving them silently through the night. You've been creating a universe and an environment where those goals are achieved because you said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to achieve these 3 goals. And I'm going to post them on the bathroom mirror and keep them out where I can see them so that they get accomplished. And so review your goals. Track your goals. Keep an eye on your goals. Know your goals. You should know your goals better than you know your social security number. And it's funny because I'll ask people during coaching calls, so what's your goal for this week? And they're like, well, I'm thinking I might want to. I'm like, I'm thinking I might want to. What is this? The McDonald's drive-thru where you're just going to pick a Happy Meal for the day and see if it satisfies you? Really? Is that all of the intention you have? That is not living a life of success. That's just wandering through it, trying to talk your way into it, an idea of success. We so often feel like, well, if we don't say something, they're going to think we're a fool. If you say, my goal today is to do absolutely nothing and to enjoy it, I'll honor it, because at least you'll say it with conviction. At least it sounds like you gave it some thought versus, well, I don't know. I kind of really want to do this in my life, and I'm thinking if I do this, then maybe... Here's the truth. All right, you ready for truth? There is nothing, not your race, not your age, not your gender, not your social and economic background, not your religion, not the place of your birth, not the way you were raised or the people that you raised or where you were raised or all of the things that you want to walk through life complaining that that's why I haven't yet achieved the life of success that I want. That's not what's stopping you from having your dreams, your desires, your ambitions. And the silly thing is, it's not your motivation either. And it's not your desire and your passion. That's not what's stopping you. I know really highly passionate, motivated people that are still not achieving the level of success in the life they want. You know why? Because they haven't developed the habits, the structure, the discipline they need to achieve the life that they want. It's not about how you feel about your dreams. It's about how you work daily and consistently in alignment with that dream. And so if you're telling me that I want to accomplish this in my life and I'm really passionate, I really, really want it. You don't understand, Coach Eric. I've been wanting this for so long. I can taste it. It's burning inside of me. I'm going to lose my mind if I don't accomplish it. Okay, that's only one element. Tell me what you're doing to make it happen. And if you don't know what to do to make it happen, that's why we have coaches. That's why my coaching style is very different than most, because I'm really an accountability coach. I'm really in this, tell me your strategy, let's talk about the ideas, let's focus on what we're going to do, and then let's nail it down and get it done. And when you show up next week and it isn't done, don't look for cotton candies, unicorns, and Skittle rainbows from me. Because I know you want it. I know you're passionate about it. I know it's burning inside of you like nobody else's business. But it ain't showing up in your behavior. It ain't showing up in your habits. It ain't showing up in your daily activities. So, yeah. There's two guys on a football field. They both want the Heisman Trophy. I can tell you the guy that's going to get it, the one that goes to the gym, tracks his thing, moves into reviewing his goals, reviewing his dreams, understands what the cost is, and he's always working on getting gooder. So I don't mean to I love passion. I love passion. I love purpose. And I love sometimes when we go into these coaching sessions and it's about discovering the things that make you laugh or the things that make you cry or the things that make you sing. That's a great way of getting started. But that's not going to change your life. Just because you feel that this is your life calling doesn't mean it's getting done. Just because you want it like nobody else could ever want it doesn't mean it's going to get it done. What's going to get it done for you, what's going to bring you into that life of success, what's going to bring you into the alignment with your passion, your purpose, is the actions that you take today. And then the actions you'll take tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And then the day you wake up and you feel like, oh, I just don't feel like it. Guess what? It's the actions you're going to take then. It's the discipline, the consistency, and the habits that you create. And the mindset, this mindset thing, the mindset, I don't need, I hear people say, I'm a mindset coach. I'm like, you can set my mind all day long. Doesn't mean my hands are going to do the work that I need to get done. Now, if I develop a mindset of discipline of consistency, of following through, that's cool. But just a mindset of, I like myself, is not going to accomplish your dreams. All right? So, sorry. Don't know what happened there. Kind of went off on my own little thing. Some days. You know what it is, Sonia? It's this thing that comes in these cups that I just started having in the morning. Because, I don't know, that stuff will mess you up. I'm not doing that coffee stuff anymore. That's a drug. That's a drug. Y'all trying to kill me. All right, so remember tonight at 7 p.m. we have Author Talk with Larry on Your Life Matters. And then Friday we have Fun Friend Friday with Pat. That is going to be amazing. You really inspired me today to inspire. Thank you, Muhammad. So I'm glad you're inspired. I'm going to kind of like, we're going to go off tangent, Muhammad. I'm glad you're inspired, but tell me, what single action are you going to take today that wasn't on your schedule, on your plan, on your to-do list prior to being inspired? You're inspired means your tank is full. But what are you going to do to turn the key, to set the direction, to cover the ground between where you're at and where you want to be? All right? That's just a question. Just a question. It's not the coffee, Coach. It's your heart. Oh, thank you, Helen. It feels cuddly and warm. I like that. I'm going to keep it up. Okay, keep on coming to y'all with some passion if that's what you want. I can get preacher-like up in here. So anyhow, thank you guys for joining me for Success Life Live. The Uber blogs are already posted. Both 1 and 2 are up there as of this morning. Got them done last night, so they'd be ready for you today. 7 p.m., jump back in. Join me here for Author Talk. I'll be back tomorrow morning with maybe something a little mellower, a little quieter, a little more comfortable. Yeah, probably not. Why? Because I really, really have just, and this is from my heart with love. When I say I'm worn out, I see so much potential. I see so much energy. I see so much of abundance and greatness in individuals that are being led astray, so to speak, by this idea that if we just feel passionate, if we just feel motivated, if we just feel inspired, our lives will be different. And that's the beginning. That's the fuel in the tank. That's the thing that maybe wakes us up into our new self. But if nobody's talking about the discipline and the habits and the consistency over time, you're going to end up at a place where that motivation, that inspiration, that passion begins to get thin and gets worn out and gets kind of tired. And then you're going to look and go, I knew I wasn't worthy. And what I know is you are so worthy of everything that's been put inside of you, everything that's calling you forward. It's there because you were already given the gift to fulfill it. It's already been promised into you. It is already granted and given. And it's like just waiting over on the other side. And it's not motivation that's going to get you there. It's action and habits and discipline and consistency and accountability. And so I want and I desire for each of us to be able to step into that other place, that other thing, that other life that is just ours, that we're being called into. And so, yeah, sometimes I get a little worn out because I know what's over there. I see it. I'm like trying to keep people towards it. And they just sit there with their, really, let's be honest. When was the last time a vision board got you what you wanted? Now, a vision board sets where you want to go, gives you an idea, keeps you focused on it. But it's the actions you took to get it done that get you there. Discipline is what shows up when motivation is waning. Amen. Amen. You have been anointed and appointed for such a time as this. Oh, Rose. I'll receive it, but man, that's a big. we all show up where we're supposed to, doing what we're supposed to, doing it with love and passion, and it lands where it needs to. So on that, I will just simply say thank you for joining me this morning on Success Life Live. If you need me as a coach, hey, a lot of what I've started doing with people is a 90-day, what I call jumpstart, kickstart, because they're not sure what it's going to look like at the end of the 90 days, and they're afraid of making a commitment beyond that 90 days, and I get it. And it's like, okay, we'll do coaching once a week. We'll figure out our goals. We'll figure out our mission. We'll figure out our vision statement. We'll figure out the habits that are working and the not. And then we'll begin to dive into those habits and focus on those habits and reinforce those habits and measure the results and make progress towards our goal. And at the end of the 90 days, you can be like, you know what? I'm going to keep on going, or woof, this was too much for me. I need to bail. And you've already got it planned. So a lot of what I'm doing now with a lot of people this time of year is that 90-day jumpstart, whether it's for their business or for their life. So reach out and connect to me through ericgreid.com if that's something you're interested in. Until then, go out and live your life of success. It is yours and you are worthy of it. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day.